And we put out 2 books. This one, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 1. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, How Jews Gain Control of the Black American Economy. Wouldn't you like to know how? Wouldn't you like to understand why everybody else comes to America and goes to the front, and we've been here longer than anyone else and are still so far behind? Don't you want to know what happened to you?
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my space. This is Evansa. Guys, thank you so much for tuning to watch today's episode. Guys, today's video is one of the best video that I've ever done, according to my research, because I get to understand the relationship between black folks, actually the secret relationship between black folks, and the Jews. And to speak to us today is Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan, the leader of the Nation of Islam, has spoken extensively on the relationship between black people and the Jewish communities, often in highly controversial terms. His commentary spans decades and has sparked significant criticism, and debates. In a book that was published by the Nation of Islam, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, in a 3-volume publication released by the Nation of Islam beginning in 1991, the series asserts that Jewish individuals played a disproportionately significant role in the transatlantic slave trade and the economic subjugation of black people in America. And guys, I found this video to be one for the books. In this video, Louis Farrakhan tries to explain the relationship between black folks and the Jewish people. And he also speaks of a meeting that he had with a few individuals that are Jews who tried to manipulate him and tell him that there are certain conditions that he must meet before he becomes the friend of the Jews. And some of them was, to publicly say that the book, The Secret Relationship Between Black and the Jews, is not one that should be supported by black folks. So guys, I wanted to watch this video. Once the video is done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this together, family.
Even many black leaders were afraid to come close to me. Black preachers, black people. Some of you hated me without a cause. I never did anything to you. I've always spoken for you and championed your cause. However, it is because of the power, influence, and money of the Jewish community that makes black people afraid to speak up for the hurt that we have received from the hands of some of their people, afraid to associate with those that they dislike. This is true. So, when I wrote a letter to Mr. Foxman, and we put out 2 books. This one, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 1. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, How Jews Gain Control of the Black American Economy. Wouldn't you like to know how? Wouldn't you like to understand why everybody else comes to America and goes to the front, and we've been here longer than anyone else and are still so far behind? Don't you want to know what happened to you? After book 1 came out, I had a meeting with several Jewish rabbis, columnists, at the home of a rabbi and one who was the former dean of rabbis in Chicago was present. And also present was the great columnist for the Chicago, I think it's the Tribune, Cupsinet, and others. And at that meeting, we had dinner. It was very lovely. You know, I mean, everybody was very nice, and I was nice too. And I'm never not nice. I treat everybody the way I want to be treated. However, after dinner, or during dinner, pardon me, the rabbi pulled out of his pocket a piece of paper and said, well, of course, this is a love fest, but it's going to be tough love. And he said, this is what we expect of you if you want to be our friend. Many people, when they get to a certain level and they get an offer that is difficult to refuse because it's accompanied by a threat, they usually cave in. So this offer of friendship had terms, and these are the terms. 1, Farrakhan, we need to watch you and listen to you over a protracted period of time. In other words, I'm on trial. I mean, just think of the arrogance that a black man who speaks truth to power will be on trial for a protracted period of time before I can gain their friendship. The second term was this book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, is a great calumny against our people. We want you to stand up and denounce this book. Third, no man in history, no one in history has ever been written of well who was an enemy of the Jewish people. You're very brilliant. You're a very gifted speaker. But if you want to be written of in history well, you have to go down in history as the friend of the Jewish people. Now, Mr. Farrakhan, you can answer now, or we can go upstairs and have some coffee and tea, and you can answer then. I said, let's go upstairs and have some coffee. It started the conversation with, you have your truth and we have ours. I recorded that. So we had coffee. Are you prepared to answer now? I said, yes, I was prepared when you asked the question. I said, first, I would like to be your friend. I said, that's why I'm here. I said, but you wanted to watch me and listen to my words and follow my deeds for a protracted period of time. Well, I respectfully say to you that your people have done more evil to mine than we have done to you. So maybe we need to watch you for a protracted period of time. Watch your words and your deeds before we even desire to be a friend. I want you to hear this. Second, you asked me to denounce this book. I said, I'll denounce it in the morning. Because if it's false, if it's all lies, I don't want falsehood and lies attached to my name. But we only quoted Jewish historians, scholars, and rabbis. So if you want me to denounce this book as a calumny against the Jewish people, since we quoted only your people, then you stand up tomorrow and denounce every scholar that we have quoted and say that they are anti-Semitic. I said, now, I'm here because I want to be your friend. But if being your friend means that I have to deny the truth, then yours is a friendship I don't need, and yours is a friendship I don't want. I said, now you can gather all your forces. I want you to listen to me. This was spoken over 10 years ago with witnesses that are present here. I said, you can gather all your forces and come against me. I said, but as long as I stand on truth and stand with God, I'll be the winner. And I said, you can use your influence with the government and come against me. But as long as I stand on truth and stand with God, I'll be the winner over the government of the United States of America. When I walked out, I knew the stuff was on. They weren't going to back down from what they wanted from me, and I certainly was not going to capitulate. So I wrote in my letter to Mr. Foxman that rabbis presented me with terms that no self-respecting man would submit to. Get the final call of last week and read the letter. I told them that we have your history now. We've just put out part 2. And with what we have in our hands, which will soon be in the hands of tens of thousands, I said we could charge you with being the most virulent anti-black group in the annals of our history. I didn't say we would, I said we could. I used the conditional tense. I said, and we could charge you with being the most deceitful person, acting, playing as our friend, while you have been our worst enemy. Now, those are strong words, but we presented the proof. Get me the other book, Jews Selling Blacks. I don't have it up here. Thank you so much. This book, I'm telling you, thank you, it's $20. But those of you who are here and those of you who are watching by satellite, internet, this is an investment that is probably one of the greatest history lessons that you will ever have the privilege of getting, because most of us who write, we write and we write, but we never go to the root of why we are in the condition that we're in. This book takes it to the root. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us, no tree can die unless its root is exposed to the light. The root of your problem and mine and the world's problem is in these books. So those of you who are watching all over the world, you can get this book online. Get it. Take your time. It's so scholarly done, with nearly 2,000 footnotes, that if you wanted to check what we are saying, you can go to the library and get the books. We cite the page that you can go and read it for yourself. We pit this against scholars all over the world, and our scholars are prepared. Our historians are prepared to go up against the scholars of the world to prove, and theologians, that these that call us anti-Semitic are not Semitic at all. They have no connection whatsoever to the Holy Land. They are usurpers, land grabbers, We have you etymologically, anthropologically, historically, and genetically. We can prove that you have no legitimate connection to that land. Now, brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you as a brother to a brother and sister, as a theologian to theologians, and as one who is under the scholarship of God and His Messiah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'll quote a word from him. He said, quote, "What I have given you from my Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, is an invincible truth that if you stand on it, you cannot be defeated by any scholar or scientist of this world." Now, Jesus said it like this: "I thank thee, Father in heaven, for keeping these things from the wise and the prudent man and revealing them unto babes." We are the babes that have been blessed with supreme wisdom, which we are about to share with you today. And I am so happy and thankful that the ears and the hearts of a beloved and most beautiful people that are destroyed not because we are black, but destroyed because we are ignorant. And that is why Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." Now, you notice most Christian theologians, preachers, never talk about the reason why Jesus was crucified. You know, they tell you he was a good man. They tell you that he opened the eyes of the blind, made the deaf hear, cleansed the leper, the lame, and the halt, raised the dead to life. But that wasn't the reason that he was crucified. That wasn't the reason that he was brought to court. That was not the reason. No. Imagine one day Jesus comes into Jerusalem on a donkey to the hosannas of the people. And a short while later, the people were saying, "Crucify him." What happened in that short space of time? And these fickle people who saw him open the eyes of the blind, who saw him make the deaf hear, the dumb speak, who saw him raise the dead to life, who saw him beat the money changers out of the temple, who saw him do these wonderful things that his enemies said, he does this by the power of Beelzebub, the devil. And I noticed when Mr. Foxman, after reading our letter and receiving the books, we sent them to all the top Jewish leaders. We sent them to President Barack Obama, to his Jewish advisors, Mr. Axelrod, Mr. Rahm Emanuel. We sent them to Tim Geithner. We sent them to Larry Summers, one of his economic advisors. We sent them to Ben Bernanke of the Federal Reserve. We sent these books to white folk of influence. And I said, now, just read it. Don't talk to me until after you've read it. We sent it to influential people in the media. We sent it to all the black leaders, to the black college presidents, to black scholars, to black entertainers. And some of you big shots, if you haven't got yours yet, look in the mail, it's coming. It's coming. Now, this man said he didn't say nothing about the book. His attack was on me. Well, he used to assign us a little something in his lectures, but now he took his whole subject on us. He's virulently anti-Semitic. He's diabolical. He's obsessive. Oh, they went there with me. After I spoke in Atlanta for 3 days, you couldn't hear nothing on the news. And the latter part of the third day, they rose from the dead. And a letter came out to the news media. He ain't answering me. That's why you should read the letter, because it really asks for an answer. But instead of answering the thing that's in the book, he attacks me and wonders why there are no black people out here that are attacking Farrakhan. I wouldn't do that today. That wouldn't be a wise thing to do. Why? Farrakhan not going to do nothing to you. But you see, this truth is so clear that if you fight for them against me, that's revealing them and the truth of them, then you expose yourself. That you are the Tom. You are the white man's tool. You are not affiliated with Jesus. You are of the synagogue of Satan and therefore will be dealt with by God. Now, I'm really trying to be calm, you know, because I'm so fired up.
Family, this is one of the most powerful videos I have seen of Louis Farrakhan, and today I just want to let everyone know that I'm a Christian, but the teachings of Louis Farrakhan have something special. Number one, the fact that he stands with black folks. is just everything to me. For the longest time, black people have been manipulated by white folks. For the longest time, we've gone through racist, racist ideologies against us. We've gone through discrimination. We went through slavery. We went through colonialism. And him standing for black folks is just one thing that I support each and every day. It's something that is rare. We've seen a lot of black leaders who are being manipulated by white folks, who instead of using their leadership positions to address this rot, many times they choose to receive monies and enjoy, in the expense of trying to empower the black man. But for Louis Farrakhan, that has always been on a constant during the days that he was in the peak season of his ministry. We understand right now he's old, and he doesn't have the same energy that he used to have in the days. So in this video, he starts by saying that some black people hate him and he's done nothing wrong to them. It is because of the power, influence, and money of the Jewish community that makes it hard for black folks to speak up. Blacks are afraid to associate with those that they dislike. The secret relationship between black and Jews is the topic today, and I do not want to delve deeper into the book, but just want to give some of these ideas that Louis Farrakhan has expressed in this video. He says, we've been here longer than anyone else and we remain behind. Black folks have been in America longer than anyone else and they still remain behind. Do you want to know why that happened? He says he had a meeting with some Jews and they offered to be friends under the following terms. He had a meeting with a few Jewish people, and I understand that these people are high-ranking people, of course. For them to have a meeting with somebody who in the days had a lot of influence, amongst the black folks, somebody who empower the black people. We want to have a meeting with you and we want to discuss certain things, and if you agree with us, you'll actually be our friends. And here are some of the terms they had according to Louis Farrakhan. Remember, I just want to do a nutshell of the video, then we get back, try and do an analysis according to the research and facts that have been addressed in the video. He says, number one, we need to watch you and listen to you over time. They are putting Louis Farrakhan on trial to gain their friendship. They want to listen to his sermons. They want to give him time and see what he preaches, to black folks, for them to see if they'll be a friend to Louis Farrakhan or not. Number two, the secret relationship between Jews and blacks should be denounced. The book, by the Nation of Islam, they should denounce it publicly. They do not want Louis Farrakhan to have this book. Number three, you are very brilliant, but if you want to be written off well in history, you have to go down in history as the friend of the Jewish people. You can answer now, or we go upstairs and answer then. If he wants a good relationship with the Jewish people, that comes sometimes with rewards. You get money, and that is what that has failed black folks over the years. Look at the leadership of Barack Hussein Obama, the first black president in the United States of America. And I keep telling you, my audience, he has roots in Kenya. We celebrated when he was announced the president, and we thought that black grievances would finally be heard, and that was not the case. Many times when black folks get into these positions of leadership, they are controlled by other forces. So Louis Farrakhan in this meeting with these Jewish people was told that he could either answer them right now if he's agreeing to the terms, or they could go upstairs, have some cup of coffee, even as they discuss. Then this is what Louis Farrakhan had to answer. I would like to be your friends, but you wanted to watch me for a period of time. Your people have done evil to mine than we have done evil to you. Then maybe we have to watch you for some time before we desire to be your friends. You're the one who's been wronging us. So, if anything, we are the ones who should be watching you, even before you decide to watch us, to gain our friendship. You ask me to denounce the book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and the Jews. I'll denounce it in the morning if it's a lie, but we only quoted Jewish historians and rabbis. If you want if you want me to denounce it, then you stand up and denounce every scholar we have quoted and say they are not anti-Semitic. Family, just imagine, the Jewish people trying to sit down, Louis Farrakhan, and talk about them trying to create a relationship in their own demands. Family, it's crazy, and that is what has been happening to black folks over the years. Here's what we noticed on the key themes, according to my research now. The key themes in the whole idea of the relationship between black people and the Jewish communities. Number one is the criticism of the Jewish influence. Farrakhan has repeatedly accused Jewish individuals and organizations of exercising this disproportionate influence in finance, media, and politics, and has claimed they have exploited black people historically and economically. These claims are widely considered anti-Semitic by Jewish groups, civil rights organizations, and scholars. Then number two is the secret relationship narrative. The Nation of Islam published a book titled The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews in 1990s, alleging that Jews played a significant role in the transatlantic slave trade. This work has been heavily criticized by the mainstream historians for selective and misleading use of historical sources. Family, there is one thing you always notice when it comes to matters history. The black people have been played for the longest time. They even try to give us, to tell our stories, telling us that this is not the original script. We people started industrialization. We people started anything good. You guys were just following on our backs. They lied to us about our history. Then we have black empowerment and self-determination. Farrakhan often frames his commentary as part of broader message of black self-reliance, nation building, and liberation from systems of oppression, including those he attributes to Jewish individuals or institutions. In summary, Farrakhan's views on Jews and black Jewish relationships are deeply divisive. While some followers see him as a truth teller challenging powerful interests, many others view his rhetoric as promoting conspiracy theories and anti-Semitism, undermining legitimate conversations about black empowerment and historical injustices. Family, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about Louis Farrakhan trying to explain to us the secret relationship between black folks, and the Jewish people. Like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users. Guys, in a special way, I just want to thank you for always tuning to watch my works. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and we cannot do it without your support. And in a special way, I just want to thank you guys for 22,000 subscribers. Right now we are at let me just show it live, the live numbers. We are at 22,716, and the goal has always been to reach at least 100,000 subscribers before the year ends. And firstly, we want to start it to 50k subs. So guys, help me achieve this goal. Share this video with your friends and family. Let them know that Evansa does videos on black history, black empowerment, and just wanting to ensure that black people are in the know when it comes to matters black discrimination, black empowerment, guys. So right now we are at 22,716. Let us push it to at least 50k subs before the 6th month of the year for us to be able to achieve this goal. Thank you guys, and see you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.